We simply cannot afford to keep treating some of these services as though it's nice to have. I mean, I was pretty shocked to find that large numbers of the public service now and their senior leadership teams in ministries, government agencies, and departments do not have a financial controller on their senior leadership team. So I have sent a letter out to ministers about this. I have also had the public service has contacted the chief executives and said this pathetic ignoring of the finances must stop. This is something that...
I mean, if what she's saying is we definitely need to have financial experts on every board, I agree with that. I mean, that's a good thing to have. I think Ryan's about to ask a semi-good question, Chewie. He wants to know about the nurses' pay, and then, of course, what happens after that is Judith lies about how much nurses get paid, which we've had squashed several times.
We never used to have, but what we've got now is there's been an awful lot of feelings, a lot of wokeisms, and a hell of a lot of delivery that hasn't been delivered.
And yet you're about to pay everyone at the top a lot more.
Well, how can you say a chairman of a board at the moment getting $40,000 is highly paid?
How we can say, Judith, is you first explaining how much work is that. This is the adage. Remember, people, we've done this.
Give us an example.
We don't talk about how much is being spent. What we want to focus on is what are we getting for it. And if it's $40,000 for a chair of a board who works one day a fortnight, that seems to be a pretty good wicket. If it's someone who's working 4 days a week away from home in Wellington, yeah, I agree, not enough. So the details is what we need to know whether what you're saying is of worthy of concern, or is for some reason you guys all of a sudden doing this all over again.
Look, the money will be found because it has to be found.
You know, is it just that again? I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, being a chair, I've been in these roles.
Fair,
I know how hard they are.
To be fair, how can you sit there and say that when you're offering the nurses less than inflation?
Well, nurses now, of course, highly valued. They're getting on average, from memory, it's around about $110,000.
Your memory fails you, Judith. Or if what you're saying from memory to what other people in my cabinet have said, that's fair enough. You can remember that, but it's not accurate what you're saying.
A year, plus there's other things like various other benefits that they get from it. But you're talking about these board chairs in some cases are responsible for millions or even billions of dollars. And actually, this is really important that we get this right. When I look at some of these board...
Nurses are responsible for dozens of lives. That doesn't rate, though, as much as millions of dollars or billions of dollars, dozens of lives. I would think that's comparable.
Board roles, I think it takes someone who really wants to give up an awful lot of time and their own money to take these roles on. And it's not just that. We need people who know what they're doing, highly experienced.
All right.
I look at something like Kāinga Ora, the housing portfolio. We've got someone in there now knows.
Chewie, you'll be surprised. This is a great point by Ryan. It's a great point because the person from Kāinga Ora was put in place under the old salaries, and they're a great person. She's about to say, great person, but they were employed under the old schedule, and now they're getting a pay increase. So they didn't need this money to be a great person working there, did they?
People who know what they're doing, highly experienced.
All right.
I look at something like Kāinga Ora, the housing portfolio. We've got someone in there now knows what they're doing, total turnaround. And by the way, we cannot afford to go into billions of dollars of debt on all these entities.
Yeah, but you got that person for the cheaper rate, right?
There you go.
Well, the thing is that you still have to... No, we often have to get the higher rates for things because we've been getting more and more people saying, I won't do the job.
But hang on, address the point. You're saying we need to pay people more to get the quality for the job. Like, for example, the guy or woman, I'm not sure who it is probably, at Kāinga Ora, to which Brian points out, but you didn't have to pay more to get them. You got them under the cheaper rate, and you're saying they're fantastic. And your response to that is, ibbity.
That person for the cheaper rate, right?
Well, the thing is that you still have to... No, we often have to get the higher rates for things because we've been getting more and more people saying, look, I won't do the job for that because I'm happy to give up another role to have the time to do it. And that's the other thing. So you do need to be competitive, but at the same time, if you're a very busy, very good and competent chair or experienced director, you've really got to want to help the country to do these jobs.
Oh my God. I hopefully haven't put everybody to
Jesus.
sleep. There was something about that. I think maybe she was just out of bed. That were maybe her morning pearls she was wearing. But it didn't. It's just easy. The two things, Chewie, that you're welcome to obviously respond to now. One is this idea about paying people. I have no problems with paying people more. Like I don't. I really genuinely don't. I want to see our public servants remunerated handsomely. But if you're cutting everything, and you're cutting back on backroom staff, which means the frontline people have to actually do more work, all to save money, then the people you've got now running these boards, like the person at Kaingaora who you admit is perfect and they're turning the place around, all of a sudden just get loaded with another pay increase on top of up to 80%, right? That's nearly double. We get to ask the question, what are we getting for that? This person, this amorphous person on $40,000, how many days a week or a month are they working? What are we getting for our $40,000? You tell us that. If it's, I think I saw one go past in the chat, and I think it starred, so we'll go back to it. It says some of these board chairs work a day a month. I mean, if that was the case, you'd have Christmas off, I'm assuming. So for 11 days work, 40 grand sounds pretty amazing, So we need the detail.